So the question would be, in this process, who decides how many votes New York gets vis-a-vis Wyoming? Who decides it?
The convention itself will actually decide, but again,
that's the answer?
If you look at the actual history,
yeah.
Again, we've done this many times in American history. It's always been one state, one vote. There was one exception where they actually tried to change that, the Convention of 1861 that was called to try to avert the Civil War, and the proposal was made to give relative votes according to population. And that vote was taken in that convention, amazingly, one state, one vote, and it was defeated. And in fact, from a practical political perspective, all the small states would simply walk away from convention, and there would fail to even be a quorum if it was not one state, one vote.
And you think the big states will go what you envision? You think the big states will go along with one?
It's the way it's always been, and I think if they don't, then that's fine. There won't be a convention, and then there is no risk.
So it all works out. Larry Lessig.
Yeah, but I just want to emphasize one point, right? What we're talking about is the procedure for proposing the amendment. And in my view, though I very much support the idea of one person, one vote, and I'm troubled by what we inherit from the structure, and I'm very troubled, as I think the other side as well, as Walter is, with the amending process that we have in our Constitution right now. Working with what we have, the fact that every state gets a vote to propose an amendment which they know cannot be ratified unless it is so overwhelmingly popular that 3/4 of the states will adopt it, doesn't seem to me to be a tragedy. If they get that wrong, we'll have a failed amendment. If they get it right, we'll have a successful amendment. And the fact that you got one vote doesn't going to determine whether it's right or wrong.
Okay, let me take that to Walter Olson. So your partners are saying the safety valve in all this problem, the protection against the risk you're talking about, is that the Constitution says that even after a convention is called, and proposals for amendments emerge from that, 3/4 of the states still have to approve it, and it's not going to be, the country's not going to do something crazy. 75% of the country's not going to do something crazy.
Well, that is a good question, isn't it? Whether the country will do something crazy. I have a serious point, but I can't resist telling a joke from Twitter, which is UK on Brexit. I just did the most rash and self-defeating thing ever. US, hold my beer. I have a serious point, which is, to a large extent, I go along with our opponents that it will probably not lead to disaster because it is so hard to get 38 states.
But that's conceding a very big point for their side.
Wait, I never actually concede anything. I just appear to. Those dissident states could, of course, be among the largest states. And the way that American politics works, California, Illinois, New York, seem to vote on one side and the small states on another side. So it's rather dangerous, even if the states are not very numerous. My own view is that California is capable of, and New York especially, is capable of throwing absolute fits to stop a process that it finds unfair, and that it would find a process in which each of the 3 stages were controlled by small states to be so grossly unfair. I don't even want to think about what California would do against that, but I don't want to be there when it happens.
I'm happy to put California against Texans anytime, being from California.
David Super.
Can I make a serious response?
Let me let David Super jump in, and I'll come back.
You can get 26 states with 18% of the population. And you can get 38 states, which is enough to ratify it, with only 53% of the population, and those states could be well divided, so it could be far less than a majority. So we could end up with a constitution that is ratified, that is proposed by a tiny minority, states with a tiny minority of the population, and ratified with states with a bare majority of the population. At that point, we lose the most precious thing we have as a country, which is a constitution that everybody believes is theirs. And people may dislike it, may be frustrated with it, but everyone believes that it's theirs. We are about to go into a 4-year period with a president that a great deal of the country does not believe is theirs. Far, far worse if that was a constitution. And that is, of course, assuming that this convention doesn't do what the 1787 one did, which is change the ratification rules to make its job easier.